Good morning. It's Saturday morning. It's April 2nd. No danger of this being an April Fool's joke. It really is me, Drew Levy, shouting out to you, uh, Facebook friends. I miss you so much, and it may not seem that way because so many people have maybe emailed me or posted a message on my wall, and I haven't responded yet, and I apologize fervently for that. Uh, it's amazing how busy being semi-retired and in a hospice can be, uh, especially the hospice part. Those of you who don't know, I've spent 2 weeks at St. Christopher's Hospice in Sydenham, South London, and hearing that a person who has cancer is going into a hospice is possibly one of the more alarming things you can hear. But the time I spent there was about something called symptom control. The symptoms, of course, being some back pain, some. What else did we have? We had some unbalancedness. There's been some swelling in my legs, and I will confess a little incontinence. I mean, we've all done it. We've all wet ourselves at some point in our lives. More often than not, we've tackled that problem by the age of 2. Some of us a little later. Color crackle. Uh, but for the most part, that's done with. But later in life, it comes back to haunt you. But it turns out we don't think it's a cancer thing. We think it's something called diabetes insipidus, because I don't have enough wrong with me. We felt that we needed to add something to the pot. So that's a good Google one. Diabetes insipidus. It's not like the other diabetes, um, in so much as it's more just about sort of swelling up with fluid and then expelling it at inappropriate times when you're really not really waiting for it. Having little seizures, basically. I think what I had is a little seizure in the night a few weeks ago. I woke up extremely sweaty, and the next day they called me in for 2 weeks of rest and relaxation and fun. Except it's not really restful and relaxing to be in a hospice. I mean, you've got the nurses coming around every few hours to give you pills or to check on your blood pressure or generally chat about the Libyan situation. They're interested in everything, and doctors going around and visits from visitors and but yeah, I'm kidding about some of that stuff. I mean, it was really restful, and it was really good to sort of um, get a bit of the burden off ourselves of taking care of myself. That sounds like I've just spent 2 weeks having people wipe my bottom for me. That's not what happened. But yeah, it's been stressful, being all cancery and be at home doing the chemotherapy because I have been doing chemotherapy. This is my at the middle of my second round of temozolol, which is the easier way of saying temozolomide, temozola, temozolomide, temozolomide. We still haven't settled on a correct pronunciation, but we're getting closer. That's medical science for you. Half of the half of the science is spent discovering the drug, and then there's a little bit naming it, and then there's a quite a large block of science spent trying to discover how to pronounce what they've written down on the paper as the name of the drug that they've made. So this is the easy part. I'm on a set of cycles of temozolomide, which is a five. You take 4 pills over 5 days, and then I don't have 23 fingers, but imagine 23 fingers. 3 days later, the cycle is finished, and you take 4 pills a day for 5 days again. And that's where I am. I've taken 2 cycles of that, and I'm halfway through the sort of period in between. It's not too bad. I had some serious barfing on the on the first night of this second cycle, which was a shocker. Boom, blah. It was just amazing. How much vomit. This is not the best of dignity enhancing recordings. But, but you know what? Dignity, it just flies out the window. It's like a bird, you know. It's like pushing it out of the nest and watching it just flop to the ground with its wings kind of broken. And dignity is not an issue anymore. Although, you know, I still have reserves. Still have reserves. Brackle knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's been a remarkable time. I had my 2 weeks in St. Christopher's being taken care of by their wonderful staff. I brought my camera in. By the end of it, I had my lights there, 2 cameras. I was photographing staff, having a marvelous time, and strange to say you're having a marvelous time in a hospice, especially when the neighbors in your room keep going for the other purpose, which is to have the end of their life managed. So a lot of them passed away. Specifically, my neighbors, which was a little disconcerting, but it's a very nice place to do it. And one in particular, Irene, was a lady who would sit outside smoking at the front entrance of the hospice, and I took her photograph for her. At first, she didn't want her photograph taken. She wanted to remember herself, as she said she was beautiful, and but she wanted me to take a picture of the garden that she was looking at. So I took a picture of the garden, and then I said, "Come on, let's have a picture of you as well, looking at the garden." And she agreed to that, and we took the photograph, and I told her that she looked beautiful in the photographs, because I could tell on the back, and that once you put the beauty in, you can't take it out. And I think she liked that. And I went home, because I could go home and visit home. I just stayed overnight at the hospice when I needed to. And I printed out a photograph, a large print of her, the portrait of her, very small. Not very small, but smallish. And then the garden, bigger. And I gave that to her, and she was so very happy, and made me very happy, because it's there's a great power in being able to give that kind of joy to somebody. And she passed away just maybe 3 or 4 days later, but I think she passed away with that sense of that she still had the beauty in her. And apparently her husband came in and stood where she used to sit, and was showing everybody the photograph that I had made, the print I'd made of her looking at her garden and her favorite plant, which was really a nice thing. So that's the power of photography for you, and I feel very fortunate to have had that opportunity. And that was one of the last things I did before I got to come home. So I'm home now from St. Christopher's Hospice. It is possible to come home happy and healed and well, and that's what I've done. My symptoms are fairly under control. Lots of painkillers being delivered to my body every day, but they're mostly from my back, and it seems to be getting better. I've got some crazy foot things. That's the diabetes. Susan, did I mention in this round diabetes insipidus?
Yes.
Okay, well, if I didn't, I have diabetes insipidus. If I didn't have diabetes insipidus, it's nothing too bad. It's insipid, as the name implies, or directly states. Um, but it just makes me kind of swell up. So that's why I know this Drew. I can't even make a skinny face, Drew, but it's all just fluid and salt and stuff. I know I've been giving that excuse for a year, but now we've got a name for it: diabetes insipidus. Google it, and I'm afraid I haven't put up the photograph of. Well, I've actually made it private. I had put up the photograph of Irene, but I think you can maybe see her plants. And there's lots of pictures of St. Christopher's Hospice uh, on my Flickr site. Most of you know where that is, but if you don't, I would encourage you to go to Flickr, the Flickr, no E, websites, and just look me up and see some of the photographs I took around uh, the facility. I'd also encourage you to come on down, give me a shout, and let's have some portrait sessions with you, because I miss you and I'd like to take your portrait. And remember, once the beauty's been put in, you can't take it out. So this is Drew signing off. I hope you're all well as I feel. Take care. Enjoy this beautiful sunny Saturday. Bye.